Hey friends, welcome back. I wanted to sit down today and give an honest update and recap about my arm and this crazy journey I've been on since February of 2024. It's been a lot, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and I know a lot of you have been following along or checking in, so here's the full story up to date. Back in February of 2024, my right hand was injured by a student. By March, I was in surgery to repair a severe TFCC tear. After that, I got fitted for a brace to support a sagittal band tear and started intense physical therapy twice a week. Then, around March and April, I started having nerve pain. They ended up having to wrap the nerve and at that point repair the sagittal band tear because, again, it didn't heal the way they had hoped for. In May of 2024, things really took a turn for the worse. I got a severe infection and ended up in the hospital for about 6 days. I went home with a drain in my hand for a while, which continued physical therapy, which was even more intense. Then in June, I was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome, or CRPS, and that meant even more therapy and continued to wear a brace that immobilized my right wrist completely. On top of that, I was diagnosed with complex PTSD and a severe anxiety disorder, which honestly, not surprising with everything that I had going on and still have going on. In August, I had my first stellate ganglion block in my neck to try to help with the CRPS. Spoiler alert, it didn't help. We tried again then in September, and it still didn't help. From September until March of 25, I had several ganglion blocks done, and I stayed in therapy twice a week, but the pain unfortunately just kept getting worse. Then in March of 2025, we found out that my ulnar bone wasn't connected to my radial bone. Back to surgery. This time was a wrist fusion with 2 screws and a ligament repair. I ended up in a cast that went all the way up to my mid-bicep, holding my arm at a 90-degree angle. A few weeks later, I had a reaction to the Dermabond glue, developed another infection, so back into a splint I went. Then again, another cast in April. By May, I was finally back into a full Munster splint and continued physical therapy and more ganglion blocks, which none of them helped. So by September of 2025, therapy did a big measurement day and found that all my numbers were worse. Not just by a little, but everything from movement to pain levels had gotten worse instead of better. And after a year and a half of doing everything right, it honestly feels completely defeating. Everything that helps other people hasn't even begun to make a dent for me at all. So fast forward to this past Wednesday, I went in for what was supposed to be a quick outpatient stimulator trial implant, but in true me fashion, it did not go smoothly. I woke up in absolutely excruciating pain in my left arm, which wasn't even the problem arm. And for context, I have a very high pain tolerance, but this was completely unbearable. The amazing tech team and my doctor worked so hard to get things under control. The reps were incredible, constantly adjusting and reprogramming this stimulator. I've had, at that point, several doses of fentanyl, steroids, nothing helped. My doctor refused to leave for the day until things were stable, which I am so thankful for. Eventually, they thought they had it all dialed in, and I was discharged. But then I set up to leave. Bam. Oh my goodness. Horrible electrical stimulation down my left arm and leg. We were able to shut everything down and start over. My mom turned off the stimulator, called the reps, and my doctor was ready to take me back in and take everything out if he needed to. At this point, my husband headed to the hospital, and after another hour, they finally got it set to a point where I could go home. Even now, the pain is still pretty rough. The reps have been amazing, helping me adjust the settings constantly, but my gosh, it has been a doozy. Oh, now I am back home. I am on day 3 of a 7-day trial. The trial setup is super uncomfortable. There are wires taped all over my back and shoulders, plus the pack taped to my shoulder blade, so it's hard to move or do much of anything. My mom has been babysitting me, which makes me feel like a kid again going through one of my mini surgeries. She's bringing all the snacks, helping with meds in the middle of the night, getting me dressed, and all of the things. She and David have been taking care of me and the boys during the day so my husband could go to work, and I've been staying at their house at night because, let's be real, it's more peaceful here. We're all just hoping that the nerves calm down and this stimulator starts helping and doing the things it's supposed to be doing. This has been such a long and emotional, exhausting journey, and it's affected literally every part of my life and my family's lives. So, if you're a praying person, I'd really appreciate it. I'm holding out hope that this phase brings some relief and maybe a little light at the end of the tunnel. Thanks for watching, for your messages, and for sticking with me through all of this. If you're going through chronic something, pain, CRPS, endless medical stuff, just know you're not alone. Follow for more updates and our crazy life journey.